So you're thinking of moving to Rogers, Minnesota. Well, you're in luck. Today we're going to do an overview of Rogers. We're going to show you where it's at geographically, what the population is, what the housing market is, and go over some cool stuff that you can do when you're in the city. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Steve. Produce content for people just like you looking to move to the Twin Cities area. We get calls, texts, and emails every single day. People asking us questions. Where's the best place to go? Where do they want to go? Well, we help break it down for you so you can make the best decision for you and your situation. So if you like this type of content, please subscribe, like the video so you can get notifications whenever we do more content. But without further ado, let's hop right into it. All right, we're gonna hop right on into it on my computer screen here. So I always like to pull up kind of Google Maps to show us kind of where we're situated here if we're looking at Rogers, Minnesota. So you can see you got Minneapolis downtown right here. I got the airport right down here. So Rogers is a northwest suburb. It's kind of what kind of consider a second ring suburb. So when you have kind of Minneapolis here, you have this kind of 94 corridor that kind of surrounds it. Kind of think of this as anything within that kind of general area as kind of a first ring suburb. And as you go out there, kind of start getting into second ring suburbs with Medina, Corcoran, Rogers, and Dayton's going to be right up here too. Rogers is kind of right in that mix there. So if you're looking to get downtown, you're going to pretty much hop on 94, and it's going to take you a pretty good chunk of the way to get you into the downtown area. If you're looking to get to the airport, you're going to take 94, you're going to take it down, and then, oops, lost myself there, and you're going to cut across right here. So to get downtown with no traffic, probably looking at about a half hour. If you're looking to get to the airport with no traffic, probably 40-45 minutes. Now, traffic is going to be one of the big keys that I start talking about here. As you start getting into Rogers, you're going to kind of notice it's one of the first real suburbs where 494 and 94 merge. So that actually happens right here in Maple Grove is where they merge, and you get pretty good congested traffic here. And then as we go a little bit further, you see 610 loops into 94 here as well as you start going into Rogers. So you do get a fair amount of traffic in this area. There's a lot of people in these we refer to again as kind of second ring suburbs that are making their way downtown, making their way into the kind of Twin Cities area. So this area does see a lot of traffic. Additionally, as you kind of follow 94 here, now if you're not really familiar with the Twin Cities area here, Minneapolis itself, Minneapolis-St. Paul, is split up with the Mississippi River, and you can see the blue Mississippi River right here. And this kind of separates the Twin Cities area and kind of north and south suburbs. And as you kind of go through here, the reason why this is super important is as we're following this river along, you can really see there's not a lot of ways across the river. So, you know, the closest way across the river is going to be kind of right in here on 694, 94. You have 610 as you start going up north. You have 169, then we have 110 that gets you going kind of off in the northwest area here. This is kind of your really main way across if you're trying to get into Elk River or north, and it actually ties into 169. So if you're heading north to Cabin and stuff like that, and you're off in this area, there's a decent chance you're going to hop on 94 like everybody else, and you're going to hop on to 110, and it's going to take you north of the river. So you do get a lot of traffic that comes through here. Additionally, in the summer, 94 west here is a main area for cabin traffic. So a lot of people in the metro here, there's a decent chunk of people that have cabins or like to go out fishing, stuff like that. When you do that, you're really having on 94, and you're kind of going out. Sometimes we go into the Alexandria, Osakis area, or you're taking this, north up into Brainerd or something like that. But it's a really big area that a lot of people travel, especially in the summers, to get out of the country area, get out into the wilderness, get out on the lakes and stuff like that. So we see a lot of traffic right here in this 94 area. So if you're in Rogers and you're making those commutes, something you really got to pay attention to is what is your traffic going to be looking like. But some really great things about Rogers as we start moving out here. It's a booming spot. There's a lot of new construction, a lot of things growing, happening here. They talk about some of the biggest areas of expansion are right off in this kind of 94 corridor off here going west. We've talked, I have a previous video on Dayton. I'll do some more stuff out here, but this area is rapidly expanding. So if you're looking for new construction, looking to get an area that's expanding, Rogers, Dayton are kind of the first ring suburbs that you're seeing a lot of expansion. As you start going out, St. Michael, Albertville, Otsego, a lot of new construction happening here. Some people predict, at some point in time, basically from Maple Grove all the way over to St. Cloud, this area on 94, they expect this to be one big city at some point in time with how much expansion they're doing. And it very well might happen. Time will tell. It might take 20 years to get there, but we're definitely seeing a lot of growth in this area right in here. So as you first come into the city, one of the first things you're going to notice are very big Cabela's right there. So if you are an outdoorsy type, you like sportsmanship, stuff like that, that's going to be your closest really big box retailer for anything like that. It's a very big Cabela's, very popular, a lot of traffic there. It services a lot of area on this area. In this area, it draws a lot of people over to it. So as you kind of come in on 94, like I said, you can head up 101 or 90, keep going on 94 depending where you're going. And this kind of cross area of 94, 101 is where a lot of things within Rogers are. So you have your Cabela's at, there's an antique car shop down in here. This is where you have your Target, your Kohl's. You can see a Maynard's, which is a super cool atmosphere bar in the area. Kind of a local Minnesota one. There's another one down on the lake. And then they have one right here. A couple different drink halls, eat halls right up in this area. They also have a really large movie theater, 18 screens, I believe. It's kind of one of the bigger ones in the area. Super cool atmosphere in there too. Serve alcohol there. So if you want to go check a movie, have a beer, it's a great spot to go. I believe I went and watched the new Top Gun movie. That's where I went with it. Really cool atmosphere in there. But most of your stuff is going to be kind of right here in this 94-101 corridor. And then most of the residential stuff is happening all around it. You can start seeing a lot more neighborhoods being developed throughout these areas here. And then a lot of your stuff is right there. Rogers High School is right there as well, so super conveniently located. Now, Rogers itself isn't that big of a city. If we look at the census, we're looking at an estimated population, 13,398, 13,400 or so. Mostly of people that are owning their homes, mostly owner-occupant. You got 86.3%. You don't have a lot of apartment complexes or anything like that. If you are renting, you're probably renting a single-family house, maybe a duplex or a townhome or something like that, but no really big developments in that area, in the Rogers area as well as it is. So, very well off. A lot of people moving right off this area, trying to get some bigger, just more space, get a little out of the hustle and bustle of the Twin Cities, tend to move out here. So the median household income is very good at $137,000. Like I said, there's a lot of people that very well, doing pretty well, just don't really want to be in the hustle and bustle of the city. Want to get just kind of that next ring out, but don't way too far from the city. You tend to kind of move out to this area here. And there's a lot of opportunity there. You tend to get a little bit bigger lots, be able to stretch your dollar a little bit more there. But when we kind of look at what is the average sales price there, it is just over $500,000 for a home in the Rogers area, which is a bit higher than the rest of the Twin Cities metro area. If we look at just Twin Cities region in general, it's actually slightly less than $563,000. That's my problem. I'm on new construction. So average 426 for the Twin Cities region. If we look on Rogers, 473. So my original statement was right. It's a little bit higher out there, a little higher cost of living. A lot of that too is there's a lot of new construction out there. So I talked previously in another video about Dayton. There's a lot of new construction in that Dayton area. Rogers is going to be another kind of tier suburb there where there's a lot of new construction, if that's kind of what you're looking for. Again, a lot of these areas off to the northwest are expanding quite a bit. So As I pop up here onto Zillow, when we look at some of the new construction, one of the great things about if you're looking for new and you start getting into the Dayton Rogers area is the affordability is really what you're going to notice. If you're in that first ring suburb looking for a new construction house, trying to stay under $500,000, you might not even find any options. When you start looking in Rogers and stuff like that, you're going to have some villas. You can see here at $449. So you have some single level villas, 2-bed, 2-bath, very open concept. You can kind of see here, and these are new construction homes. But you can typically get down even into the low 4s. So 3-bed, 3-bath. Looks like it's a single family home for low 4s. That's really awesome when you have these opportunities here, and they don't have any pictures of what it looks like. But you can kind of see open concept kitchen, dining room, family room, flex room, typically an office. As you walk in, you get a mud room there, and they'll probably have an upstairs. You got owner's suite there, owner bath, walk-in closet. You got your main floor or the bathroom there servicing the other 2 bedrooms, and laundry up. So really solid, lot of value there if you're looking new construction. You said Dayton, Rogers. It's a great spot to start looking in those areas as you're not too far out of town. You can really stretch your dollar there. But now if new construction isn't your cup of tea, we can always go ahead and change this around and see of options here. Okay, previously owned homes, 410, 5-bed, 2-bath here. Just over 2,200 square feet as it's loading. You can get a lot of affordability out here, which is one of the great things about it. As we load here, so looks like it's pretty freshly redone. It's built in '02, but has some nice updates. Final plank flooring, open concept. Looks like, yeah. So you definitely get a lot of options for, in this area of what you can find compared to some of the other areas here too. Now you can find the great stuff. You can go, 2.5 million as well, and everything kind of in between. And you get some townhomes here at 260. So again, super affordable depending on what you're looking at here. Now if you watched these videos before, I always like to head over to niche.com. I think it's a cool website, gives you a lot of overview, kind of an impartial overview on a lot of these things. So overall, Rogers has an A rating, which is fantastic. A lot of these suburbs in this area do. And we'll kind of walk through some of the stuff here. Now the school systems A-, we'll walk through a lot of that. It's a couple different school systems that it's lumped into, but it's solid from that standpoint. Its biggest negatives you're going to see here are weather. Every city in Minnesota is going to have like a C plus for weather, so it's probably as good as it gets here with our winters. You're just going to see a B- in the nightlife. I said there's a lot of stuff on the 94-101 corridor, but if you're looking for kind of a cool sports bar, or you want some really fancy dining, anything like that, you're probably going to have to go out just a little bit. Now, they have some cooler breweries that are moving into that area, and it's expanding. But from right now, if you want to get great Italian or a great steakhouse or go dancing, some of that, you're going to have to travel a little bit. You're going to have to go a little closer towards the metro area. Maple Grove is probably the first spot you're going to hit for restaurants and stuff like that. If you want to get downtown mini for a sporting event or something like that, you're going to have to travel a little bit. So that's kind of the negative there for its nightlife there. And cost of living a little bit higher compared to some of the areas in there. It's attracting a lot of different people for their school systems, their expansion, their newer homes, stuff like that. So it is a little bit more expensive to live there compared to some of the other areas, given its size. So a lot of stuff here. So a lot of people want to ask about kind of school systems too overall. So of course, we talk about schools. It's a big spot there. There are 3 major schools public schools that are serving kind of the Rogers area. The Buffalo School District, Elk River, and Osseo schools are the main ones according to the government website here on rogersmn.gov. So you can always hop in there, check out those, figure out exactly kind of where it is if you're trying to move within a certain school district. I always double check those, but very high ratings there. And again, if you head over to Niche, it has an A rating for schools in the area. So a couple different options there for what you're looking for, but yeah, A- for public schools. So you definitely have some really great options if you're looking to move there within school districts. All right, that's my overview of Rogers, Minnesota. What'd you think? let us know in the comments below. If you live in Rogers and I missed something, let us know in the comments as well. Make sure we get the word out about anything that I might have missed. Now, stay tuned to the channel. We'll do more content and we'll compare Rogers to other surrounding areas too. So if you're stuck between Dayton and Rogers, well, we'll do a head-to-head comparison a little later down the road. So if you're interested in that, you want to know more about how those two stack up, feel free to like, subscribe the video. And I said at the beginning of the video, I'll let you know what I like most about Rogers. And you know what? It's the Cabela's. Like I said, it's one of the only ones in the area. I spend a lot of time there. I'm in Minnesota and I like being outdoors, and they have some of the best gear to help keep you warm and dry when you're out about. So that's my favorite thing about Rogers. What's yours? Let us know. And until next time, I will talk to you later.